It's time for our daily dose of cope, and we have our correspondent Tasha Spotson out in the field talking to a poor MAGA. He's saying, I wanted to own the libs. Now I can't afford my rent. All I have left is my racism. What we're really going to talk about today is how businesses have been impacted by Trump's tariffs and Trump's economy. So this person put together this fabulous post for us in the Leopards Ate My Face subreddit. It's titled, Rural and Small Town America Voted for Trump's Tariffs, Deportation and America First Promises. Now they are heartbroken to see small local businesses struggle and close because of the economy. Here is her caption. Deeply conservative small towns and rural counties voted for Trump. His promises to put America first over others, cut federal workers' jobs, deport immigrant families, and raise tariffs resonated strongly. Now the denizens of these areas are distraught to see small businesses in their towns struggling and closing as the economy takes a nosedive under Trump's interference. The businesses in these communities thought they could count on the local population to support their livelihoods and dreams, and are surprised to find out these conservative communities are not showing up to save them. And like Jetta at the bottom says, don't know about anyone else, but I'm not spending any unnecessary money for the next 3 years. And the thing is, that's going to be the majority of people, especially as jobs are so insecure and tariffs are jacking up the prices on everything. Just buying the normal day-to-day things is more expensive. So people have to hold on to their extra money, and there's not a whole lot of extra discretionary income. Anyways, let's get to these posts that she made. Now, this person did not, we don't necessarily know if the particular small businesses voted for Trump. She's just showing that they are in counties that went for Trump. This one's out of Lumberton, Texas. So this person asked a question. Honest question for small business owners. Are you struggling right now? This is a totally serious question, and I want answers of all kinds because, Lord, between the economy and the decline of businesses, it's sad. Any answers are welcome. And so then this person says, absolutely zero business in months for my small business. The next person says, this is taking me out. Praying for your business to flourish. This person says, mine has been super slow as well. Then she gives us a voting map, which shows, the presidential results. So Trump versus Harris, this town right here, she highlighted it. Almost 25,000 votes for Trump, just a little over 3,000 for Harris. So this is a Trump county. This one's out of Lebanon, Oregon. This person is asking the question, why are so many businesses shutting down? Our in-house business consultant, who has started and sold over 15 businesses, is writing an autopsy of a closed business. Who wants it? And the first comment says, because the cost of doing business increases every day while the discretionary income of customers decreases. Duh. This county in Oregon went to Trump, over 43,000 to Trump, just under 26,000 to Harris. So this is out of Hamilton, Mississippi. This person says, lately, I've noticed several small businesses closing their doors, and it's gut-wrenching. These aren't just shops or signs coming down. It's someone's dream, their hope, their livelihood. When you shop small, you're not just buying a product. You're supporting a family, a future, and a piece of your community. When small businesses thrive, they're able to give back to the community by supporting local initiatives. Remember that. So if you can, choose local, choose small, choose to keep someone's dream alive before it's too late. Because I promise you, your sale means more to a small business owner than it ever will to a millionaire CEO. If you're a small business owner, I'm rooting for you always. Hashtag shop small, shop local. In Monroe County, which she highlighted right here, it was about 70% to Trump, about 70% to Harris. So this is what they voted for. This one's out of Bristol, Tennessee. So this person says, now more than ever, support small businesses. Just this week alone, we've heard of 3 small businesses closing their doors for good in Bristol. It's heartbreaking. Being a small business owner isn't easy. It's hard to compete with big businesses. It's hard to deal with the public, especially when you're doing it all with a smile, even on the hard days. And it's really hard to make ends meet when there's nothing in the middle but your own personal bank account keeping it going. Amazon won't sponsor your kids' cheer squad. Target won't donate to the local food drive after a hurricane. Walmart won't show up to coach your little league team or give door prizes to your school event. But small businesses will. We always do. So this summer, let's show some love, eat local, shop local, and hydrate local. And so this is the thing. This is summertime. What is going to happen come the holiday season? It's about to get really ugly and really bad in America if all of these places are closing right now. The federal government is laying off and prices are high for everybody. This is about to be jacked up. Here's Sullivan County, which she highlighted. 77% went to Trump, 22% went to Harris. This is out of Washington, Illinois. This person says, watching the news and it's one business closing after another. Very sad. This person says, time to move. The next person says, any business that was struggling is going under completely because of tariffs. And then the next person says, and taxes. The thing is, yes, this is about to get really bad. And this person saying, time to move. Move where? We're in the United States. We're all impacted by this. Y'all can see here that even though Illinois goes blue, it's mostly red as far as area goes. It's blue because of Chicago and Cook County. But you can see this highlighted area voted for Trump, almost 63%. So that county did go for Trump though. This is coming out of Port Richey, Florida. This person says it's devastating hearing of all these businesses that are just closing their doors without warning. My heart breaks for all the employees that are scrambling to figure things out, but my heart hurts even more for the business owners. I hear all these comments about how can they do that to their employees. As a business owner and someone that had to close their location as well, my heart hurts deeply for the owners. To build something from the ground up with your blood, sweat, and tears and endless nights, and to have to walk away. And then she does the sad faces. In a world that once thrived on small business, our economy is hurting. Prayers for better days for all. This county right here, 62% for Trump, about 37% to Harris. This is out of Canton, Ohio. So this person says, a reminder for our community, customers, and other local small businesses. Many small businesses struggle to simply survive and stay open, let alone make a living. Behind every brand, website, and social media account, there are real hardworking people who are simply trying to do what they love by offering their product. While some online will continue to complain without a desire to allow a business to make it right, criticize and throw stones, we will continue to support our fellow local businesses and wish them all of the success possible. Though the sleepless nights, crunch numbers, and exhaustion, small business owners and employees are the backbones of our communities. Remember, as a customer, you're not just patronizing a business. Each dollar spent contributes to a big dream, puts food on the table for employees and their children, stimulates the local economy, and so much more. Be kind to each other and support local. Ohio is so red, but here's that county right here, and that went 60%, almost 61% to Donald Trump. This one's coming out of Sunbury, Pennsylvania. So this person says, it's honestly insane to see how many local businesses have announced they're closing up shop over the past 3 months. Restaurants, welding businesses, photographers, caterers, and so much more. So many people with shops/businesses are hanging on by a thread, and the toll that the stress is putting on these owners is becoming very obvious. Unfortunately, there's no end in sight, and I think it's only going to get worse. And think about these businesses, photographers, caterers, restaurants. Those are things that require discretionary income. If people are not working, how are they going to go to these places? So here is that county right there. Almost 70% to Donald Trump, just about 30% to Kamala Harris. This one's coming out of Hopkinsville, Kentucky. This person says, lately we've seen too many small businesses in our community shut their doors, and I know you all have seen multiple posts about the current struggles in our community, but we need you to truly grasp the situation at hand. Honestly, it's gut-wrenching. These aren't just businesses. They're people's dreams, their livelihoods, their everything. We know the economy is rough. We know times are hard, but every time a small business closes, it's not just a lost storefront. It's a family losing their income, their stability, be their hope. When you choose to shop small, you're helping a mom pay rent. You're helping a family keep the lights on. You're giving someone the chance to keep chasing their passion, something they built with their own two hands, not a corporate checkbook. So, Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Here's that county down here. It looks like 66% went to Trump. Finally, we have Waco, Texas. This person says, so many small business owners are struggling right now. This economy is insane. In fact, talking with our food distribution delivery guys, he said that 90% of his account orders have decreased by 50% or more, including us, which broke my heart. I hate we are struggling, but hate even more that others are as well. Small businesses are the backbone of our community and affect so many beautiful families. We're all out here just trying to survive, and for many of us, we've been at this for over 10 years and we're tired. With that being said, though, I don't have much to give. I have it on my heart to extend some love where I can with what I do have. I know even small gestures can raise major spirits. In the comments, please tag a local small business owner who you know is burning candles at both ends, that is providing for their family and others with slow business. I would love to bless them with some free meals when I can. Also, please share even if you can't think of someone specific to tag. We can bless as many as possible. Thank you, friends. So here's Waco, Texas right here, 65% to Donald Trump. It's going to be hard out there for a lot of people. The economy is contracting. Prices are going up. We have a trade war. We have bankrupt farms going on. We have businesses that are closing. We have people that are losing their jobs. It's hard out there. On top of all of the prices that are climbing, we have a trade war going on. So this is really jacking everything up. I don't know what to tell folks, but it's about to get really rough out here. I'm going to also share this story. This man is homeless and was a Trump supporter or is a Trump supporter. So this is an article out of the USA Today. It says Trump's route to Kennedy Center cleared of homeless camps amid DC crackdown. So, I don't know if y'all saw, Trump said, y'all got to get rid of all these homeless folks. So I don't know where they put these people, but this man had some issues. It says, blocks away from where Trump announced the latest slate of Kennedy Center honorees, workers began to sweep away homeless encampments along his route to the White House as part of his broader crackdown in the capital city. The August 13th move comes days after Trump seized control of DC's local law enforcement, deployed National Guard troops, and ordered people living outside to immediately move, suggesting, as the president put it, that they be relocated far from the Capitol. Amber Harding, executive director of Washington Legal Clinic for the Homeless, said officials cleared at least 2 tents on a patch of green space near the Kennedy Center as Trump spoke at the Performing Arts Center. Members of the city's Department of Human Services pinned notices to at least 9 other tents in the area, notifying residents that the camps would be broken down and closed if not removed by the following morning. Jordan Morgan, a lifelong D.C. resident who has lived in the encampment for 2 months, says he's not sure where he will go. He won't go to a shelter because they won't allow him to bring in his American Pit Bull Terrier. I'm very concerned, said Morgan, a Trump supporter, about the president's takeover of the city's police force and his mobilization of the National Guard. I try not to take offense. Right here. He said while he doesn't know where he will go, he's hopeful that God would make a way. He's hopeful that God will make a way, but he hasn't made a way up until this point. So I'm not sure where these people are going to go, but he's sitting up here thinking that God is about to make a way for him, even though Trump, the one that he is a supporter of, is the one clearing things out. It's wild how these people are. Some of the comments underneath this post says, Underneath this post, it says, you think having nothing left to lose being homeless while supporting Trump, only for Trump to somehow manage to take more from you. Holy shnikes, that is butt right there. Noodly Arm says, but somehow it's all Biden's fault. This person says, with Obama being the mastermind behind it all, of course. And then at the bottom, it says, thanks, Mobamba. I had to get to this cartoon because you got right here Trump with his bad makeup job punching the living daylights out of this person, and this person saying this is all Biden's fault. And with that, I'm going to end it there. Let me know what you think about all of this. These people thought that they were going to own a lib, and now they can't even rent or lease a lib. Join the conversation, like, comment, and share. I've been talking about businesses and how businesses are going under. This woman is talking about the tariffs and how they have been impacting her business. So go ahead and give this a watch. She's not a Trump supporter. She's not a supporter of tariffs. She's just giving a detailed explanation.
The ransom has been paid. We got to pay our tariff bill yesterday. $35,000 down the drain. In summary, I have paid my tariffs. My products will get through customs next week. It will take probably another 2 weeks to get to my warehouse here in Minnesota. Because we could not ship our products for almost 8 weeks due to the 145% tariffs, which would have cost me well over $200,000 that I don't have, we are now out of stock of almost all of our main products, which means our revenue in the last 30 days is down 70% from normal. My operating expenses are the same. So right now, operating expenses are way more than the money we're actually bringing in. So it's a very tight situation. Fortunately, we had hundreds of generous, thoughtful, caring other Americans donate to our GoFundMe, which did cover the cost of the tariffs. So we are not raising our prices. But in the future, this is not sustainable. These tariffs are not sustainable. We still need to make it through the next few weeks before our products get here, and then hope that people will start buying it again, and we can survive a few more months to figure out what to do next. And talk about this tariff I got. I will try to put it on the screen here so that you can see what the bill actually looks like. And you'll see on the bill, there's one line, the bottom line, $0, and it says free. That is my normal tariff. So the additional 30% that I'm paying right now, and that everybody importing paying right now, is on top of what your normal tariff was. For those who don't understand how tariffs work exactly, the importer of record, whoever's buying the products that are coming into our country, is the person or company responsible for paying the import tax, also known as tariffs. I need a little help here understanding my tariff bill from people who agree with what is happening right now with the tariffs. So my first question, for those of you who think these tariffs are a great thing, is please explain to me the 20% fentanyl tariffs. So for me, that 20% fentanyl bill cost me $23,263. And from the research I've done on the internet, this is an essential national security tool, this fentanyl tariff, and it's not traditional trade policy. And the point is to stop the import of fentanyl. I don't understand how my $23,000 is having any impact on the import of fentanyl. I am manufacturing my own inventions, my own products, and shipping them to my warehouse in Minnesota, where we conduct all of our business with American companies and sell to American consumers. There's nothing that has anything to do with my business that involves any kind of pharmaceutical, any kind of fentanyl. And I don't know how me, the American business owner, paying $23,000 to our government is having any impact on the import of fentanyl. I agree, it's a massive problem. Even just in my local town, we've had more than, I think, 15 deaths in the last 2 weeks from fentanyl overdoses, drugs laced with fentanyl. It's a massive problem. I agree it needs to be addressed. I just don't understand how me paying $23,000 is helping that cause. So please comment for those of you on the side of the government that think this is effective. For the rest of you, you're preaching to the choir. I don't get it either, and we don't need to bash the administration. I really want to understand how this is helping. The other 10%, which is $11,631, is the 10% reciprocal tariff. Now, the reciprocal tariffs are supposed to collect money from foreigners who have taken from us using unfair trade practices. I am not a foreigner. I am an American. I'm a veteran. So this additional almost $12,000 that I had to pay yesterday is supposed to collect money from foreigners who have taken from us using unfair trade practices. Somebody please explain that to me as well. Now, since this whole thing has happened with the tariffs, I have revisited finding a way to manufacture in the US. That's part of the goal, right? And I have talked to more than a dozen factories, and something people don't know or realize is that these tariffs are negatively impacting US factories as well. The raw material for many things that we use in our life is not available in the US. So my products are made of food grade silicone. It is not something we have available in the US. There are places that sell food grade silicone in the US because they've already imported it. So the cost of the material in the US is very high, and importing the raw material is expensive. And now there's tariffs on that. So other manufacturers that make things out of resins and other materials, silk, they are being impacted. Even though they manufacture in the US, the raw materials are being tariffed, increasing their costs, which they then have to pass on to their customers who already have razor thin margins because they chose to manufacture in the US, which is a very admirable thing. I'm not against manufacturing in the US in any way, but these tariffs are not helping American manufacturers. Manufacturing is just more expensive in the US. Any manufacturer in the US will tell you they have very high regulation costs, they have high labor costs, they have high property insurance, property tax, business insurance. There's so many insurances you have to buy as a business owner. So just producing anything in the US or operating any business in the US is much more expensive than in other countries. So one thing about tariffs up until this administration is that they were very strategically used in a way that tariffs products that are imported that we could be making here. And the point is to discourage the production in other countries, because if we can make it here, we should make it here. And so even though they can do it cheaper by adding the tariff, it evens out the playing ground for the American manufacturers who are making things here now. Currently, there are over 500,000 positions open at factories in the US. We do not have the workforce to fill the factories that are already in existence here. And to create more factories, to expand manufacturing in the US takes time and it takes money. I have 5 inventions, all baby products designed to keep things off the ground. Great baby products. We've been selling them in the US for 6 years now, and people love them, and our business was growing. We got into Target, we got into Walmart, and things were looking great and up for us. We were growing. I am a US Army veteran, so when I invented my products and started manufacturing them, I wanted to do it here in the US, of course. But it's a new product. No one's ever heard of it. I didn't know if anyone was gonna buy it, and US factories require much higher production runs than overseas factories. These manufacturers in the US are wonderful, but to make their business make sense and for their business to be profitable, they do require higher production runs. And as a very small new company, I don't make enough product for it to be worth it for them to work with me. So I manufacture in China. There's a difference between the junk we get from China via Shein, Temu, Amazon, and then people like me who produce in China. My factories are wonderful. They do not use child labor. They uphold my very, very high quality control standards. These are products that are going in babies' mouths, so it's important that the material is safe, that the production is done correctly so that the products are not faulty. Anyway, I continue to do my due diligence. I continue to reach out to factories and have these conversations, but ultimately we are still too small. We don't make enough product to make it worth it here in the US. I will continue to look for manufacturing in the US. I think it's a great goal. I would love to be able to do that someday. But right now, I'm telling you, it is not possible for us unless we triple the cost of our products, and consumers aren't going to pay that. So that is your update for this week.